Welcome to the Pickleball Legends podcast, hosted by me, Evan Small. This is the place where passion for the game meets the stories of the players, coaches, and fans who make pickleball more than just a sport. They make it a story worth telling. Today, I'm joined by Ian Roberts, a proud member of the deaf pickleball community, whose passion for the sport is seriously inspiring. Ian shares how pickleball has opened doors, built friendships, and given him moments he never thought possible. His story is powerful, uplifting, and a reminder of how inclusive this sport can be. So let's jump straight into it. Today, we're in the Maldives. That's why you might hear the sea behind us, the birds chirping. We're here with Ian, who is part of the deaf community for pickleball. So, how did you get into pickleball?
The first time I was introduced to pickleball was a good friend who lives in Canada. He introduced the game to me last year in June. I was a bit reluctant at first to go along, but it was last year, October 2024.
And did you ever play any sports before?
I used to play squash and badminton, but I haven't played for quite a long time.
So you got a few racket skills.
Yeah.
No,
I think that helped towards the pickleball game.
Yeah. So when you first stepped on the court, was it good, bad? You obviously enjoyed it because you carried on.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I got quite hooked the first time I was introduced to pickleball. But I didn't start playing for a club for a couple of months later. I was searching on the internet to find a club nearby.
And you found Exeter Pickleball Club?
Yes, I've joined Exeter Pickleball Club, and it's a really good club. Made me feel very welcome.
That's good. Obviously, you faced some challenges being part of the deaf community in pickleball. Any major challenges that you faced?
I struggle with, I have hearing loss, I wear a hearing aid. The challenge I have when I'm playing pickleball is, unfortunately, the hearing aid is not very waterproof. So I have to take it off. And that can pose a challenge, being able to follow what people are saying. But even when I'm wearing my hearing aid, I struggle sometimes to follow what people are saying. For me, personally, it's the clarity I find, trying to be able to understand what people are saying or talking about.
And have you always been deaf, or?
I had meningitis when I was 2.5. So I've lost the hearing in my left ear completely, but I wear a hearing aid in my right ear. But I'm considered severely deaf. I have a hearing loss of 19 dB. For a normal hearing person, it's usually 0. So it's quite a loss.
Yeah. And with playing pickleball, do you think that's helped us all in understanding people without the hearing aid, or?
Well, in the Exeter Pickleball Club, I've been fortunate to have my team players be more clear in their communication with me, with the lip reading that otherwise I struggle to hear. But in the deaf community pickleball, I'm fortunate that I'm able to use BSL, which is British Sign Language, or lip reading, and I feel more included in the deaf community. Not to say that I'm not included in the hearing community, but I feel more included in the deaf community.
That's good. And have people with you when they're playing pickleball, do they adapt to that well?
It depends on the person I'm partnered with. They either have some deaf awareness or some don't. And but most of them have been very good and help with the communication.
Very supportive.
Yeah,
that's supportive. Good. I mean, pickleball is very community anyway.
Yeah.
So a very, very inclusive sport.
Yes, I agree.
Is very good. I mean, I've been to competitions where we've had wheelchair competitions, and obviously there's deaf competitions as well. And you were talking earlier about the Deaf Olympics?
Yes, we have a Deaf Olympics, which has been going on for at least 100 years. It started way before the Paralympics started. And unfortunately, at the moment, the Deaf Olympics doesn't get any funding from organisations like Sports for, whereas the Paralympics, they get funding from organisation and the government. An example is the recently the GB Great Britain Deaf Women's Football Team. We're very grateful to receive a donation from Beth Mead, the England woman footballer, of £10,000, which is a good sum to have. I think the deaf community, the sports side of it, missed out a lot. In terms of funding, is so much smaller than the Paralympics, and it just don't understand why we should miss out on that. And hopefully that won't be the case with the pickleball community, which would be good if we can get some funding towards it.
Well, I find that pickleball is very community anyway. So I think it's very inclusive and trying to be very inclusive.
Yes.
Which is good and quite rare for a sport. I think lots of sports are they try to be inclusive, but they're not very good at it.
Yeah.
We're here on a pickleball holiday, and I think everyone's been quite inclusive.
Yes.
You work around it, don't you? You figure it out. When you're on the court with somebody who can hear or somebody who's deaf, how do you communicate with each other?
Usually, at the moment on holiday here, I'm fortunate to have had the privilege of Julie McCauley, who is fluent in BSL. So I was just saying earlier, with my hearing aid, when I sweat, I have to take it off. And with Sam Basford doing the coaching, Julie translate to me what's being said and help. During the game, when I'm playing with a partner, everybody's been very supportive and been good in communicating with me, so I don't feel left out. This is great.
Do you, in rallies, I know pickleball players don't communicate very well anyway, but do you find that sometimes you go for balls and both players go for balls because you can't communicate as well?
Yeah, that's the difficulty, unfortunately. I don't think it just in the deaf community, but also hearing. Communication sometimes is not always there. And both players go for the same ball instead of saying mine. The trouble is that if somebody shouts to me mine, I wouldn't hear them saying it. We'd probably both go for the same ball. But sometimes it can be funny, sometimes not, if it's a competition.
Have you ever been into a competition, a hearing competition, like entered those? How do you find those rather than just deaf competition?
The hearing competition been very good. My partners, my previous partners that I've played with, have been very supportive, and it's been pretty good having a game from that. So they've been very good.
And is there anything people don't quite understand about the deaf community in sport?
Yeah, there's sometimes I get frustrated with the. I have to say, minor people who don't really understand deaf awareness. Within the deaf community, there are different levels of deafness. So you have those whose first language is British Sign Language and cannot hear the sound at all. Not necessarily don't have any hearing, but some who do have some hearing, where hearing aid still rely on British Sign Language. Communication is very important within the deaf community, whether you're in the deaf community or hearing community. There's nothing worse than being frustrated and being left out. So good.
And is there any way that people can support you more with that?
Yes, I think it helped to educate people to understand how to communicate with the deaf, and that there are various ways of communicating, whether it's orally or by Buddhist Sign Language. Just, and the best way is to face the deaf person, preferably with the light behind them, so that they can see the person's face, so that they can communicate with them. Um, Obviously, not everybody can learn, able to use British Sign Language to communicate. Maybe they use the pen and paper, or just speak clearly in front of them.
Well, I'm not sure if I told you this, but last year I perforated my eardrum and I learned about lip reading. It made it a lot easier. Obviously, it was short term, so I wasn't going to learn sign language, but it definitely made me more conscious.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much communication is in the lips rather than just the words that are being said as well.
Yes, yes. I think it helps to educate people, to make them understand the struggle we have, to be able to understand what people are saying. I think it's important that people know, rather than shouting at people, just speak clearly and just be clear. But
Yeah, definitely. When you're playing, I mean, we were discussing the other day that you rely on visual cues a lot. So, do you think that there's things in the game that you see more than a hearing person because you don't have the auditory?
I think it helps that I am a very visual person, so I can focus more on the pickleball game visually, rather than listening to hear how hard the ball is being hit, or a partner or opponent shouting and that. So in some way, sometime it could not be able to hear, and being able to focus on the game visually more.
Yeah, and so there's, there's a both. um, so you've played in competitions before. What would you say is your proudest moment in a competition?
But at the moment, I played in Southampton. I can't remember what competition. It was an open competition, and I was partnered with somebody who I've never played before, and it was a men's double, 3.5 rating duper, and we got through and got the gold medal.
Wow.
But it was the first competition I played. My partner was so overjoyed. He leapt on top of me after the competition, after the final. He was so pleased, he was.
That's good.
So that was my proudest moment, the pickleball first competition. So I hope to continue that.
So did he know that you were deaf before the
Yes,
competition?
yeah. When I met my partner, I made it clear that I was deaf, and he was very accepting of me,
Yeah.
which was very good.
That's always good.
And that was a hearing competition,
Yeah.
not a deaf competition.
Yeah. And would you say there's big differences between the hearing competitions and the deaf competitions, or are they very similar in the way they're run?
That's a good question. I think I don't know whether I've played enough competition to see a difference. I think the deaf probably could be almost on equal level with the hearing.
Yeah.
The only disadvantage is not being able to hear your partner. So, but not that much difference.
So when you're playing singles, it's basically the same.
I've never played singles. I've tried it. I think I prefer to stick to doubles. It's easier for me.
And do you see more of the deaf community playing pickleball now? Do you know anyone from before that you've...
Yeah, the deaf pickleball community is gradually expanding. I have a good friend called James Townsend, who is deaf himself and the British Sign Language user. He's a deaf ambassador for the Deaf Pickleball, and he's been traveling around the UK and helping to promote Deaf Pickleball.
That's good.
And I'm pleased to say that it's continuing to expand, and he's doing a sterling job with it.
Did he run something recently for Deaf Pickleball?
Recently,
Yeah.
there was one organised by Action Deafness, which
Yeah.
is a charity, and they organised that one in Loughborough University. It was very well supported. It's the first festival, and there was 200 people there. Out of the 200, it was about 150 players, I believe. The others were volunteers and staff and interpreters. And it was such a success that they're hoping to hold another one next year.
Yeah, that's good. And outside of pickleball, do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I enjoy walking. I'm attempting to do the Southwest Coastal Path walk.
Wow.
It'll probably take me a few years to complete it because it is 630 miles.
Yeah.
But I also thoroughly I do regular wild swimming
Yeah.
in the sea and river. And I sometimes go on my own, and sometimes I go with a deaf group. I also help to support them. I have an Instagram that help to educate them as well and pick up some dates. You know, we meet up together, go for a dip in the sea, and then afterward have a chat and drink and
That's
discuss
lovely.
things.
Yeah. Do you get them to play pickleball? Do you invite them?
I have discussed pickleball with some of them.
Yeah.
And a few of them are quite keen to play. The difficulty I have at the moment is finding a suitable location for everybody to play. The difficulty I have in my local club is that it restricted when we can play because it's specifically booked session. The rest of the time is badminton, but I find it so frustrating because nobody turns up for badminton sometime, and we could have played pickleball.
Do you see pickleball as more of a sport and a hobby, or a community and your life?
I think it's both. But it can be both a hobby, it can be competitive, and socializing. I think more importantly is that people enjoy playing pickleball, especially in the deaf community where people can get together and enjoy playing a game, whether it's socializing or competitiveness, you know, and it's a good thing.
And obviously we're in the Maldives at the moment, but where would you like to go and play pickleball?
What, competitively or
Either for fun or in a competition?
at the moment? Well, I would love to see where I live in Exeter is to have our own pickleball centre, which we haven't at the moment. We just play in the sports centre. I haven't got a specific location. I quite enjoyed recently. Well, I say recently. Played at Asprey Manor, Oakhampton. Great facilities there. Loughborough University when we had the competition, a festival rather. That was enjoyable.
I like the colour of the courts. The pink courts.
Yeah.
They're very nice. And what are your goals in pickleball over the next few years for you personally?
Wishful thinking. I'd like to get my rating up a bit higher. Currently 3.5. Maybe get up to 4, hopefully.
And do you have any ambitions to be an ambassador for Deaf Pickleball? Or
yeah, I'd like to hopefully be able to represent the Southwest, which is Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, Dorset, at some point. And also, I would, it would be nice to be able to have pickleball included in the Deaf Olympic, not just Deaf Olympic, but pickleball competition Europe, perhaps open competition. That would be great. That
making sure that people know what pickleball is out in the world and growing the community.
Yeah,
I think
it'd be nice for the deaf community to be able to see, oh yeah, I could play pickleball. That seems like a good sports to be involved in.
And do you think that pickleball can lead the way in making all sports more accessible?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, because I think there are lots of sports where it's very uninclusive, which is a shame. But pickleball now, I'm seeing lots of deaf competitions and festivals come up. And I think other sports should do the same because
I think pickleball, in comparison to cost to other sport, is quite reasonable. Whereas you can think about golf by the clubs, and membership is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Pickleball doesn't have to be that expensive. And you don't, the kit you buy is reasonable, I think. And the club will provide sometime the nets and the wiffle ball.
Yeah, it's very good. It's a great way to connect with everyone, isn't
exactly.
it?
Yeah.
You can have a coffee, play pickleball, and discuss life,
and have a chat afterwards. And that, it's a great sport. I think can be socializing as well as competitive.
Yeah. And people like Julie Mack and James Townsend leading the way in the deaf pickleball community as well. I think that's growing it in a way that people weren't expecting. I think that's very good that's being pushed in the way that it is.
Definitely, yeah. We're hopefully it will expand more with everybody else in the deaf community helping each other out. Be able to promote pickleball even more.
Yeah. So now it's time for our Pickle Pals segment, because our podcast is sponsored by Pickle Pals, where we get people to send in any questions they have, and we'll ask our guests what those questions. So, Ian, do you have any pre-match things that go through your head before you play?
I currently don't. Shamefully, I don't do any warm up, or I don't have any superstition as such. Before a match, I usually get turned up and just hope for the best. But I think the important thing I like is to communicate with my partner, so we understand what we need to do. Hopefully, have a good game.
Well, actually, I've played a couple of games with you, and I think I communicate more with you than I do other people, because I make an effort to do it.
You do, Evan. You do a really good job, and you have a depth awareness, what I consider as depth awareness, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you. And when you miss an easy shot, what's your excuse?
If I miss an easy shot, well, I'll try to refrain from swearing. So I just say sugar, which probably means something a bit more.
And do you have an excuse for that? Do you say, it was the wind or the paddle?
I try not to make excuses. I just try and do better next time.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ian. It's been a pleasure to interview you, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.
Thanks for watching this episode of Pickleball Legends. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your fix. We've got new episodes coming out every 2 weeks, so make sure you're following so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, keep dinking, keep smiling, and stay legendary.